It is time now for another edition of Thumb Sportsline on WMIC AM 660 until it powers down. But 24/7 on 95.3 FM and streaming online at SanilacBroadcasting.com. Click the Listen Live link. If I'm very careful here, a podcast replay of this will be posted after its conclusion on this Tuesday, October 28th, 2025 edition of Sportsline. And week 9 in the books. High school football talk is what majority of this Sportsline show talks about. The end of the regular season has wrapped up, and we get ready for high school football playoff action. I can tell you right off the bat, we got 2 games, 2 immediate teams in our playoffs of Sanilac County. And Sanilac Broadcasting coverage area teams, some other surrounding teams in action. You can go to our Thumb Sportsline link on our website at SanilacBroadcasting.com. I just posted the times and dates that the MHSAA and the school administration has set, and we have 2 games, Friday and Saturday. On WBGV 92.5 FM, it'll be a live broadcast and streaming online. High school A-player football in Division I and Division II. I'm Eddie Fury, and I'll be joined by the Thumb Sports Writers Association members this evening to talk football and other sports notes. All right, so our 2 games for the game of the week. We got 2 again. I think there's 2 or 3. Was this 3 straight weeks? Maybe 4 straight weeks of double coverage. And on Friday evening, 6:30 p.m. for the pregame on Friday, it's high school A-player football Division I. In the first round of the MHSAA High School Football Playoffs. In 8-player football, it'll be the K-Pac Chiefs, who have been finishing strong at the end of the season. And can they pull off another upset when they head to the Brown City Green Devils for the playoffs? Brown City back in the playoffs after being out last year due to enrollment. They got in this year, and they're in Division I. That'll be on Friday evening, this Friday, 6:30 p.m. for the pregame on 92.5 FM. Then Saturday afternoon, you heard right, Division II, the Morris Orioles will be facing off at the Deckerville Eagles. That'll be Saturday afternoon. 12:30 noon is the pregame. That also on WBGV 92.5 FM. Both games will be streaming online at SanilacBroadcasting.com. Click the Listen Live link. Now, Jonathan Bisher, yes, returning from Wisconsin. I hope he brings me some cheese. He is coming to visit his family and get some personal business done. He'll let us know. And if you recall the story about that, he fell in love and had to move to Wisconsin for the girl. What's going on with that? All right. No, I'm happy for him. So, yeah. So he'll be doing the game with me. It'll be a great pleasure to have him. And I know he's been itching to call a game. And I just might let him just take it over or something. But I'm very happy to have him back, at least for a game this season. So looking forward to that on Saturday afternoon. That's on 92.5 FM, WBGV, both games. All right, it is high school football playoffs. Let's go through our scoreboard. You can catch that anytime, of course, on our website at the Thumb Sportsline link. And see the full schedule and, of course, the list of the playoff games. The Sunday selection show was on Sunday, 5 p.m., right on the dot, on the NFHS websites. It streamed without a hitch, coming from Michigan State University. So, yeah, I was able to watch it. And of course, we had all that chatter with all the sports buddies about that. So here we go. Let's get to it, man. And by the way, a replay of our games. We did our games last week to wrap up the regular season. We had the Carson-Port Sanilac Tigers at the Memphis Yellow Jackets. Unfortunately, CPS could not get that first win of the regular season. A very young team, just a couple seniors on that team. Memphis Yellow Jackets, however, were able to get the victory. So congratulations to them. That was their first win of the regular season. So a shout out to them, and a shout out to the Memphis Yellow Jacket staff for welcoming me as well. We sat outside, but it wasn't windy. It was cold, but it was okay. All right, so Week 9, high school football scores to recap. It was the end of the regular season. Ogama Heights defeating Croswell-Lexington 27-7, and that ends the regular season for the Croswell-Lexington Pioneers. They do not get in the playoffs. Comeback victory of the sorts. Almont led, then they didn't, but they came away with a victory. 7-point victory and remain undefeated. Your Blue Water Area Conference champions, the Almont Raiders, defeat Detroit Edison 53-46. Fenton defeating North Branch Broncos 54-21. The North Branch Broncos, I'm also going through the records too at the end of the regular season. Why not? To give you a clue. Croswell-Lexington finished at 4-5 overall. Almont 9-0. The North Branch Broncos, with their loss, fall to 2-7, and they are not in the playoffs. The Yale Bulldogs, though, get a good win over the Flint Powers Catholic, 48-21, and that earned them a playoff spot. Congratulations to the Yale Bulldogs of the Blue Water Area Conference. 5-4 overall, got enough playoff points to get in. The Richmond Blue Devils defeating Macomb Lance Cruz North 21-7. Richmond finishes the season at 8-1. Their only loss to the Blue Water Area Conference champions, the undefeated Almont Raiders, and Richmond into the playoffs, of course, with that fine record at 8-1. Frankenmuth Eagles defeat the Armada Tigers 42-14. Armada falls to 6-3. That was a tough game to schedule. Frankenmuth, one of the premier teams, but I applaud Armada for scheduling that game. And because of that, they do earn some playoff points despite the loss. 6-3 record, they earn a playoff spot. Madison Heights Madison defeating Algonac 38-34. Algonac Muskrats hung in there, but could not get the victory. And they finished the season at 1-8. And from what I heard, rumblings say they may be not in the Blue Water Area Conference anymore. We'll wait till next year and find out for sure. A Thursday game, Emily City Spartans defeating Burton Bentley 55-0. Emily City finishes at 3-6, and they played some teams pretty tough in the BWAC. They played some close games, so yeah, props to them. Moving on to the Big Thumb Conference, the Reese Rockets defeating the Sandusky Wolves 42-21 as we go into the Big Thumb Conference. And the Reese Rockets finished 5-4 overall, and they get a playoff spot. Congratulations to them. However, they get to draw the Harbor Beach Pirates. Oh, boy. You just got to believe, Reese. Sandusky Wolves, disappointing. They played hard. They played a lot of great close games. They dealt with some injuries themselves. They fall to 2-7 overall to finish the season. The Saginaw Michigan Lutheran Seminary took down the Cass City Redhawks. Disappointing for Cass City at the end of the season, 30-14, but that's okay. Cass City finishes at 6-3. They had played against a lot of tough teams in the season and regular schedule as well. They're the ones that beat Millington, and I think that propelled them to a fine playoff spot, finishing at 6-3 overall. They get a rematch against Lakers, who they lost to in a very close game. Let's see if they can avenge that loss and spoil it for the Lakers. Lakers themselves get the win over Marlette to end the season at 42-12 was the final score. Lakers, Cass City, and Millington, tri-champions of the Big Thumb White Division. Lakers finish at 7-2 overall, and they get the rematch against Cass City in the playoffs. The Carroll Tigers defeat Lanesburg 44-14. Your final score. They finish at 5-4, but do not get a playoff spot. The Elkton Pigeon Bayport Lakers, as I mentioned, beat Marlette 42-12. Harbor Beach Pirates in a big showdown against the Millington Cardinals, and Harbor Beach goes on the road and they defeat the Millington Cardinals, defending state champions, but a lot of players have moved on from that fantastic state championship team. Harbor Beach themselves finish undefeated, and they have state championship aspirations, but one game at a time, and they win Week 9, a big one over Millington Cardinals, 41-7. I've got pie in my face on that pick. Shame on me. 41-7, the final score. Millington, though, finishes at 7-2. There are 2 losses to 2 playoff teams. Nothing to shy away from that. Harbor Beach undefeated. You could say the overall Big Thumb Conference champions. They beat every team who were tried champions in the Big Thumb Conference. They had that on their schedule. Harbor Beach is 9-0 overall, and they're getting more healthy game by game. Clinton defeating Ubly 48-22 to end Week 9. Disappointing season for Ubly, 3-6 overall. No playoff spot. Saginaw Valley Lutheran, a very tough team, defeating Unionville-Sebewaing Patriots. But hey, I give credit to Unionville-Sebewaing hanging in there with Saginaw Valley Lutheran. 27-14 was the final score, and the Unionville-Sebewaing Patriots have a playoff spot. Congratulations to them. 6-3 overall record. The Vassar Vulcans defeat Perry 50-20. I do believe that is. Yeah, they finished the season at the end of the regular season. Good for them. They get an overall record of 3-6 overall. There's some bright spots there for Vassar Vulcans. Moving on to 8-player football. The Deckerville Eagles bounced back from the loss to K-Pac a couple weeks ago with the win over Alcona, 41-8. They finished the season with just one loss overall for the Deckerville Eagles, the defending state champions. 8-1 overall. And also co-champions with the Kingston Cardinals, who topped Marion 52-32. Kingston finishes at 8-1 overall. Their lone loss to the Deckerville Eagles in a close loss. Brown City Green Devils gets the win over Bridgman 44-36, a hard-fought game. That game was on 92.5 FM. Sean Cantwell, Jeremy Burgess also participated in that game. That's online for the replay. Brown City 7-2 overall. Their lone losses, Deckerville and Kingston. Now, they did beat K-Pac earlier, and that's who Brown City will take on in the playoffs. Speaking of the K-Pac Chiefs, boy, they are rolling right now. They rolled over and sank the ship of the Pac Pirates 58-20, your final score. K-Pac finishes the season at 7-2 overall. I gotta look it up. If that's their best record in 8-player football. That just might be. The Bad Axe Hatchets in the first ever meeting against North Huron in football. Bad Axe comes out on top 36-24. Bad Axe finishes the season at 4-5, their first full season officially in 8-player football. While the North Huron Warriors overall record at 6-3, they do not get a playoff spot with a 6-win record. The Dryden Cardinals defeating New Haven Merit Academy 54-24. New Haven 1-8 overall of the season, while Dryden 5-4, a winning season, but they do not get a playoff spot. But man, they were a high-scoring team, scary team to play against. Mayville Wildcats gets the win over Akron Fairgrove 48-8. After having to forfeit one of their games, not bad, 2-7 overall. They just had a tough season. The Memphis Yellow Jackets get their first win of the regular season over the Carsonville Port St. Lucie Tigers, who remained winless. Finished at 0-9 overall. Memphis just turned it up. A couple of mistakes by Carsonville, Port St. Lucie Tigers that the Memphis Yellow Jackets took advantage of. Memphis finishes at 1-8 overall. They got a lot of young players in that team and some dynamic offense. Same deal with Carsonville, a very young team, a couple seniors. They played hard. Baldwin defeating Caseville 72-46, and Caseville finishes the season overall at 4-5. The Bay City All Saint Cougars get the forfeit win over Potterville 1-0. I believe that was 2 forfeits that Bay City All Saints got with wins. 72 overall was the record. Their only loss to Deckerville way back in Week 1, where All Saints actually led in that game for the majority of the game. And their other second loss was to Onekama, a strong power in 8-player football, 30-24 loss. However, Bay City All Saints 72 overall, and they are in the playoffs, and they take on the Kingston Cardinals. So that one on paper looks great as well. That is your Week 9 score updates and the final regular season records. We will touch on the playoff teams that are in the playoffs when we come back from our first break here. It is Thumb Sportsline. I'm Eddie Ferry. Going solo, but I will have the Thumb Sports Writers Association sports guys calling in, or gal, tonight. We'll talk about some of these teams in the playoffs. Yes, the first round of the playoffs with the MHSAA. We'll be right back here on Thumb Sportsline on WMIC 95.3 FM.
Tackle those tough cutting jobs with Steel products from your nearest Tri-County equipment location. Save $50 on the Steel MS 250/18 chainsaw. Buy the Steel MS 172CE model for only $249. It comes with Steel Easy to Start and Quick Stop, diagnostic socket, and many other features. Tri-County equipment cuts the cost of cutting with the MSA 70 CB12 chainsaw, sale tagged at $399. And it comes with a free battery valued at $179.99. You can also save big on Steel blowers. The BRX 800X Magnum is reduced $50 to $599. Many other specials too. Hurry, these deals good for a limited time only at your Steel dealer. Tri-County equipment in Sandusky, Marlette, Bad Axe, Carroll, Lapeer, Fenton, Burton, Reese, Birch Run, Saginaw, and Auburn Hills.
Tri-County equipment.
Are you tired of big carrier headaches? You know, the ones with the long wait times and frustrating plans. At Thumb Cellular, things are done differently. In our neck of the woods, there's no headaches or confusion. Just simple, hassle-free service from real people who know you. Thumb Cellular offers easy-to-understand plans, great coverage, clear call quality, and phones and service for every budget. Make the switch today and say goodbye to the headaches and stress of big carriers. Right now, get double your trade-in value with a new device purchase. Also, get a free smartphone with a new line activation or upgrade. Terms and conditions apply. Talk to a customer care rep for details. Experience the Thumb Cellular difference. Stop by your local office in Bad Axe, Caro, Pigeon, or Sandusky. These limited time offers are valid through December 31st, 2025. Thumb Cellular, the local talk of the thumb.
Can't wait to communicate with you on the talk of the Thumb Cellular.
Hello, radio listeners. This is Mike from More Motors. A vehicle purchase can be frightening for some, but here at More Motors, we make sure that we turn the anxiety meter down to zero. Here at More, unlike city dealers, we will not charge you a prep fee. What we care about here at More is giving you a great buying experience, and helping you pick the right vehicle is a big part of that. Here at Moore's, we constantly get vehicles in that aren't here long enough to advertise. So please call us and tell us exactly what you're looking for in case it's not in stock. Our staff is ready to take care of you before, during, and most importantly, after the sale.
Todd Bowers here with More Motors of Caro. We offer the best prices with the best customer service in the thumb. At More Motors of Caro, we check all of the available discounts and incentives on your behalf and give you the best price right away. No funny business, just honesty, transparency, and fairness to everyone who visits our showroom. Visit More Motors of Caro, knowing you're in good hands before, during, and after the sale. Come see why your friends and neighbors have been driving to Caro for over 60 years.
Hi, this is Steve Kohler from Kohler's Propane. It's that special time of year. The footballs are flying, there are fall festivals, and trips to the cider mills, and many school activities. We would like to thank the many volunteers who work hard to make these special times fun and safe. Whether it's working for a safe harvest, driving safely, and watching for the youngsters on our streets and sidewalks, please do your part to prevent an accident.
And this is Joni. Along with fall comes a reminder that cold weather is on the way. Now is the time to call Kohler's for that fall fill-up. We guarantee your price for 1 full year, offer free tank installation with keep full and budget plans available. For information, call us toll-free 800-572-2191 or visit our website, getkohlers.com.
For more information, call 1-800-572-2191. Kohler Propane in Brown City, Memphis, and Bad Axe. And remember,
nobody gives you gas like Kohler's.
All right. By the way, cross country started their playoffs, regionals that is, at Wagner Park. We'll get info on that from our sports writers in the next hour. Volleyball, though, some final games this week as they get ready for their first round playoffs next week. All ready for high school girls volleyball. In the Big Thumb White Division, your champions of volleyball are the Cass City Red Hawk girls. They went on a roll, 2 straight wins over Millington and Carroll really sealed the deal. But what a juicy matchup come Thursday. It's a scrimmage, though. Officially called a scrimmage. They'll have Ubly, and they'll be both in different divisions when it comes to the playoffs. So Ubly playing in Division 4 of the high school girls volleyball. And they'll be hosting a regional if they make it to regionals and through that district. So congratulations to the Cass City Red Hawk girls, the Ubly Bearcat girls, Big Thumb Black Division champions. Strong team. Hoping to catch them if they make it through their district at their regional. Last week it was for basically the Blue Water Area Conference League title. The North Branch Broncos girls taking down the Emily City Spartan girls to take the Blue Water Area Conference League title. Congratulations to the North Branch Bronco girls. Another strong team. Coach Jim Fish, man, just reloads and consistently has had some strong teams year in and year out. Looking forward to the sports meeting to talk about that with the crews who work so hard to cover them. Scott Bolsby, by the way, will be joining us from the Tuscola County Advertiser Sports and 92.1 WIDL in the next hour. And the Big Thumb Red Division, the Owen Gage Bulldog girls. Talking to Libby, she says they're really good. And they earned that division title in Red Division of the Big Thumb Conference. Congratulations to them. Speaking of the Deckerville Eagle girls, they will be presented their trophy at Mayville tonight. Win or lose because they earned the league title last week. So congratulations to the Deckerville Eagle girls in volleyball. And they'll be playing in the playoffs next week, of course, as well. Looking forward to that. So congratulations to those girls' high school volleyball teams and to the league champions. They've all been sealed. They just have a couple games or scrimmages for the rest of the week. All right, we're fast approaching the top of the 6 o'clock hour after the news. Reports, we will have some high school football talk and some other sports notes from our sports guests here on Thumb Sportsline. Tune in.
You're on the Thumb's information station, 660 WMIC AM Sandusky and 95.3 FM W237EQ Sandusky.
Are you tired of dealing with big corporations? Would you rather shop a local business that puts people over profits? Hi, I'm Jordan with Snover Mattress and Furniture, a third-generation, family-owned furniture store serving Michigan for over 50 years. We offer unbeatable prices, personalized service, and a refreshing change from the big box stores. Enjoy complimentary delivery, setup, and old item removal anywhere in Michigan. Let my family help yours. Discover the difference at snoversnoozer.com or search Snover Snoozer for more information.
Welcome back to Thumb Sportsline on WMIC 95.3 FM. Streaming online at SanilacBroadcasting.com. I am Eddie Fury. Going solo tonight, Mike Gallagher must be doing something sports-related. I know that. Very sports-related. Likely trying to get some pictures. There is a league trophy about to be presented later this evening. I assume that's where he's at. All right. I do have the list here for the MHSAA High School Football Playoffs first-round games. As I said, here on Sanilac Broadcasting. High School 8-player football, Division 1, Region 4, the K-Pac Chiefs at the Brown City Green Devils. That'll be a live broadcast on 92.5 FM. Friday evening, pregame starts at 6:30 p.m. Also streaming online at SanilacBroadcasting.com. And that same division and region, Bay City All-Saint Cougars at the Kingston Cardinals. Look at that matchup. High School 8-player football, Division 2, Region 4, Morris Orioles 8-1 overall. They're at the Deckerville Eagles, 8-1 overall. That's a live broadcast Saturday afternoon, 12:30 for the pregame on 92.5, streaming on the internet. The other Division II Region 4 game in that region would be Pittsford at Burton Deerfield. These are Sanilac Broadcasting coverage area teams. Division 5, Region 4, District 2, Friday night game. Yale Bulldogs at Frankenmuth. Tough draw there. Armada Tigers get the rematch at the Richmond Blue Devils in that division and region and district. Division 6, Region 4, District 2. Clintondale is at the Almont Raiders. Friday night game on Halloween night. Clawson is at Marine City in the other semifinal there. Division 7, Region 2, District 2. On a Friday night, Cass City Redhawks at the Elkton Pigeon Mayport Lakers. The other district game in that region would be Ithaca at Saginaw Valley Lutheran. Valley Lutheran finished at 9-0 overall, by the way. Ooh. Division 7, Region 4, District 2. We have Burton Bendo at Millington. That's a Friday night game. The other semifinal has Rochester Hills Lutheran Northwest at Detroit Community. Division 8, Region 2, District 2 on a Friday night game. We have Genesee at Unionville Seaboing and the Reese Rockets at the Harbor Beach Pirates. Undefeated overall in the Big Thumb Conference, and I do believe the only team in the Big Thumb Conference undefeated overall. In the Blue Water Area Conference, the only undefeated team was the Almont Raiders, the Blue Water Area Conference League champions. That is your playoffs of the teams that we will follow and keep track of and recap on. Our immediate teams here at Sanilac Broadcasting. We don't do any bandwagon coverage. It'll be the Brown City Green Devils and the Deckerville Eagles, our main focus. We'll be on those two teams and our live broadcast as well. So, yeah, tune into that action. Again, Friday night, Brown City hosting K-Pac Chiefs. Friday evening, 6:30 p.m. on 92.5. And then Saturday afternoon, the Deckerville Eagles will be hosting the Morris Orioles. So that's a classic matchup from the past. Looking forward to that. All right, going to take another quick break, and when we come back, my special guest is coming up next, Scott Bolsby of the Tuscola County Advertiser, here on Thumb Sportsline. Be right back.
Attention, Windows users. If your computer is still running Windows 10, now is the time to take action. Microsoft has officially ended support for the Windows 10 operating system, which means no more security updates or patches. This leaves your personal data at risk from viruses, malware, and spyware. The solution? Upgrade to Windows 11. And the EVS Tech team is here to make the upgrade easy, seamless, and secure. Our qualified technicians will check your computer for compatibility, guide you through the process, and safely transfer all your files so nothing gets lost. And if it's time for a new PC, the EVS Tech team will help you find the perfect machine for your needs. And we'll make sure it's ready with Windows 11 right out of the box. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit the EVS Tech team in Pigeon or Sandusky, or give us a call today at 888-282-4943.
Making friends, Graf family. Since 1914, we've been selling cars, making friends along the way.
From Graf Chevrolet of Sandusky, here's service writer Mackenzie Eisler.
Hey everyone, winter is right around the corner, and if you're looking for a little more grip in the elements, GM is now offering a buy 3 tires, get the 4th for $1, now through the end of November. This applies to almost all brands: Goodyear, Michelin, Kelly, Continental, General, and Pirelli tires. If we don't have your brand or size in stock, no worries. There's a good chance the special still applies. Also, the holidays are right around the corner. Service gift certificates are available today to use towards oil changes, tires, or even detailing services. Call the Graf Service Department at 810-648-9850 to schedule all your automotive service needs.
Liberty Lanes, and Sandusky salutes the area athletes for their accomplishments and academic achievements. On your way to or from the game, come on into Liberty Lanes for a pizza or one of the many tasty entrees on the menu. Enjoy their Friday fish specials and come back for the Sunday brunch. Liberty Lanes also has banquet facilities available. For information or to place an order to go, call 810-648-9860. That's 810-648-9860. Liberty Lanes, your family dining and bowling center in West Park, Sandusky, serving you for more than 40 years. You can find Liberty Lanes on Facebook. Welcome back to Thumb Sports Line on WMIC 95.3 FM at Euphoria View. Recapping Week 9 into the regular season, and also to talk about some teams in our playoff coverage as well. Do have some Big Thumb Conference teams to talk about. Harbor Beach Pirates finishing 9-0 overall. Get stronger and stronger as they get healthy and healthy. Week by week, the big win over at Millington, 41-7. Kaden Buchholz, quarterback, 67 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, 7-9 for passing, 183 yards passing for 2 touchdown passes as well. Rogan Messing, 60 yards rushing and a touchdown. Luke Bisher, 25 yards rushing, a catch, 10 yards and a TD. Benson Harper, what? He played? Yeah, 2 catches, 64 yards and a touchdown. Matt Geiger had 4 catches and 100 passing receptions, 2-point conversion. Skylar Cruz with 3 extra points as well. The Harbor Beach Pirates gets the win over Millington, 41-7. Second loss for Millington. Didn't hurt them, though. They get in the playoffs. And, defending state champions there. Harbor Beach aspiring state championship. But game by game, with me on the phone, Scott Bolsby from the Tuscola County Advertiser and WIDL Let's Talk Sports on 92.1. Scotty, how you doing, man?
How's it going, Eddie?
Great. You did the Unionville, Seaboyne, and Saginaw Valley Lutheran game. Is that the one you did?
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct, yep.
Saginaw Valley Lutheran undefeated at 9-0, but I kind of like how Unionville, Seaboyne Patriots kind of hung in there with them despite the loss.
Yeah, they hung tough. It was a good game. We kind of thought it was going to be a good game. I actually said that USA could pull out the win, but I feel like, Valley Lutheran and a couple other people had said this to me as well, that there was a little extra motivation for them as they were trying to shoot to go undefeated. I believe it's the first time in program history that they did. And they really kind of turned things around in Valley Lutheran. So shout out to the Chargers. But at 27-14, Valley Lutheran goes up 7-0. USA is driving down the field. And they go for a handoff, and everybody kind of goes their separate ways. Ball just stays on the grass because the running back that was supposed to get it didn't realize he was supposed to get it. So the ball just ends up going on the grass, and one of the Valley Lutheran players scoops it up and takes it back 45 yards, goes up 14-0. And, it really wasn't a bad game per se on the USA side of things. It was a defensive stand. Just a defensive-driven game. USA had their opportunities in the game. There was just, a couple turnover and downs, a couple of missed opportunities for them, and then, give up a really big play here and there against Valley Lutheran. And Valley Lutheran's a tough squad. They're fast. They have a lot of speed. They have a lot of strength. They have a kicker, so they were able to boot one through as well. So they have these different things that they work with. And USA scored late. They cut it down to 13, but just couldn't get the onside kick. They would have needed an onside kick and a prayer, but it would have made it a lot more interesting of a game towards the end. But shout out to Valley Lutheran. I congratulated the coaches up in the booth with us afterwards, and super humble, super nice people over there. So could have happened to a better program. I really would have liked to see USA, finish with a win, but still, USA gets a home game for the first time in nearly 10 years. So that's a win in my book. If you're Coach Josh Hahn, the Patriots, and you welcome in Genesee, and there's a very good chance you could be going for a district title next week.
Yeah, Brady Green, 24 carries. It's a lot of carries, 115 yards, time consuming, 1 touchdown, in this game. Owen Caulfield, 8 carries, 52 yards, and a touchdown. And I guess ground and pound, that's been their bread and butter for the most part with the running game. Now they draw Genesee, who made it into the playoffs in that Division 8 of that semifinal Region 2 District 2. Genesee Wolves has been playing 11-player football, the last couple of years or so? And
yeah, it's been a couple, I want to say, 2-3 years that they made the move back?
So they take on Genesee. How do you foresee this game for Unionville Seaboy?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously going to be a home game, so they're going to be really hyped up in USA Patriot country, and we know that they at one point were a huge football community, and they really, still to this day, it didn't matter if they won or lost. People still came out there on Friday nights and still support the Patriots. So I don't see that changing coming up on Friday. I see the people out there really supporting them. Looking at the Genesee, the Wolves from Genesee there, and how they're looking this season, just by the eye test, they haven't really had a ton of struggles this season, and they really haven't had a ton of success either. So when they won, they've won decently, and when they lost quite a bit. I think Burton Bendel was like their closest game this year, but they won via forfeit. That really helped them get in over a Flint Beecher squad. And then they played, I believe, like Flint New Standard, Burton Bentley, and Flint Southwestern, I think was the other one, if I'm not mistaken. But I think USA's more battle tested. They had to play Harbor Beach. They've had to play Reese. They've had to play, Carroll, Charlevoix. I mean, they've had some real good opponents this season. There's a possibility they are without a running back. It's not Brady Green, but it's another one of their tough running backs. I had heard rumors that night that he might not be able to play in the first game. It's Noah Howard, but and he's been a really nice piece to this puzzle. Hopefully, everything I heard was just a rumor and not true, and he will play. And everything that I got reported to was wrong. But I still think they have enough weapons that they are going to be able to handle Genesee. I think it's going to be a pretty big win for USA. Honestly, I don't want to hype them up too much or anything, but and I hate making predictions in high school because I'm usually wrong, but I think USA's got a really good chance. Again, home field, hyped up crowd, hyped up student section, hyped up players, and you got Genesee coming in, who's really only earned 3 wins this season with a forfeit win. But you never know; crazy things have happened. But I really like USA in this matchup.
Okay, so I mentioned the Harbor Beach Millington game. That's the other semifinal in that Division 8, Region 2, District 2. Harbor Beach Pirates handled the Millington Cardinals quite well. A lot of great players coming back from last season for Harbor Beach. Not and less so for Millington, but Millington still finished a pretty good season. Tried champions, however, with the Lakers and Cass City. Pretty exciting there, but Harbor Beach is that team that beat all those teams, finished undefeated, and their quarterback, the guy managing the game, Caden Buchholz, just fantastic. 250 yards of offense with 5 touchdowns, and that included, of course, his 12 carries, 3 touchdowns, 7-9 for passing, 183 yards, and 2 more TD scores passing-wise. Just a dynamic offensive player himself. Millington offense was limited by the Harbor Beach defense to 159 total yards. Drake Terwilliger had 54 yards on 9 carries. Harbor Beach just did a number on the Millington Cardinals here. And, I did the pie in my face type of pick because I just kind of want to change things up against Mike. I had a feeling this was going to happen, but not such a huge score like that. I thought maybe Millington could hang in there. But Harbor Beach game plan, man, they got their players are getting healthy. And, boy, they just laid the wood there on Millington.
Yeah, and, they've passed every test that's been given to them this season. Cass City, Ottawa Lake Whiteford, Laker, Millington, everything that's been thrown at them this year, they've handled. Now the playoffs come. They did beat Reese 33-14 a couple weeks ago. I know that they were without their, they were on limited play for some of their players, but I think it's going to be real tough for the Rockets to go up there and I know they always say it's tough to beat a team 3 times. Not so much 2 times, because I have a feeling Harbor Beach is going to do what they have been doing best this year, and that's handling teams. The Millington game, it surprised me, the score. Going into it, talking to the coaches, they had said from week number 1 when I saw Harbor Beach and Jason Germain was there, he's like, they're real good. We're going to have our hands full. I wasn't really sure what to expect. I got that first score, 7-0. I'm like, all right, they must get the ball first. And then it's 14-0, 21-0 or whatever it was. And I'm like, okay, they're turning the heat up a little bit. Millington, they tried to hang, but it's just tough. No excuses. And I know they'd be the first one to say no excuses. And that Harbor Beach was the better team. They wanted it more. And they're very talented. I foresee them doing what they've been doing, and that's winning games. I really think that everyone, and you can't skip any games, obviously, but I think a lot of people are eyeing that Beale City Harbor Beach matchup coming up in what would be 2 weeks from this Friday or Saturday for the regional championship. But again, you can't overlook Reese, can't overlook the possibility of seeing USA again. And you got to keep everybody healthy too. That's another big thing as well as you go deep into the playoffs. But they're getting people healthy again. Buchholz, I hope I'm pronouncing that right to the Huron County crowd. But he's been an absolute monster. And watching him play in week number 1, I knew he was going to be a problem this year. And just paying attention to him throughout the season, the kid's massive. The kid enjoys hitting people and laying people out, and the kid enjoys scoring points. And they've done a lot of that this year. So shout out to Harbor Beach. They look very tough right now. And, I think they've done everything that they've had to do to prove to us that, any doubters out there, I think they were quieted up over the week by the Pirates and their performance at Millington. So credit to them.
All right, so moving on to Division 7, Millington Cardinals, who Harbor Beach beat there. They're 72 overall. They will host Burton Bendo on a Friday night, Region 4, District 2, Division 7. How do you foresee that one?
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time Christian Zalek had put out there. This is the first time Millington's played anybody from Burton. This is a Burton Bendo squad that lost to Sandusky back in week number 4. They barely beat Genesee. And then they lost to a Flint New Standard Academy squad that was so-so this season. So I think as long as Millington remembers who Millington is in the postseason, they'll be just fine. I know that they have a mindset. Well, not a mindset. I want to say they're lacking that, that killer instinct, this year, like they had last year. But postseason football in Millington is just another season. It's like hunting over there. It's like, it's like a holiday over there. So I think that the boys will be ready. I think they'll be excited. And what a lucky draw for Millington. They draw the southern part. So after Burton Bendo, they could take on a Detroit community squad that's, looking at their stuff. They haven't really been tested, or Rochester Hills Lutheran Northwest, another squad that hasn't really been tested either. So there's a real good chance Millington could capture another district. But waiting for them would possibly be either Monroe St. Mary Catholic Central, who they beat last year in the finals, or Ottawa Lake Whiteford, who Harbor Beach beat earlier this season. So, obviously you got to get to the district first, but I'm foreseeing Millington picking up another district title.
So, in their losses or even close games, what were some of the issues that Millington had to deal with and fix?
Ball handling, ball control, just being able to hold on to the ball. They fumbled a lot, not so much the interception part of it, but they fumbled the ball a lot. They were having problems holding on to it. They don't really have that. I want to say they don't have a leader. They don't, last year they had so many talented players on that squad, from Dallas to Truck Turbush to, Bryce. It was just anybody could pull off a big play at any time. The line, I think it's just a lack of experience maybe. I obviously would have to defer to the coaches, but, I just think mentally, like, they nobody's been in these positions yet, so they don't really have a leader there to show them the right way. They do have a couple of veterans on the team, but I think that just, having all those players last year. But I think a big thing that was glaring every time you got stats from Millington was you'd look in the fumbles and it would be like, 2 for this guy, 1 for this guy. It's like, man, they're coughing up the ball a lot. And, dating it back to the Reese game in week number 1, they coughed up the ball 4 times in the first half, And Jason Germain said, the head coach over there, he said, there's not too many times where you fumble the ball 4 times in the first half and you win the game. So we're feeling lucky right now. And, you can't play off of luck all season long. And I think that finally caught up with them a little bit. And, Cass City was able to cash in and show that, hey, Millington is beatable. And, and I think Harbor Beach really showed it too. But, like I said, to go into the postseason, they won't see any of those other teams, at least for a little while. Cass City, Laker, they're on the other side. So I think, they're kind of in no man's land, or not no man's land, unfamiliar territory right now. So it's kind of just, go out there and everyone knows you as Millington. They don't know anything different now. So just go out there and do your thing and, play Millington football and, see what they can do. But like I said, I really think that the fumbles were a huge, huge problem for them this season and just holding on to the ball.
Okay, so you open that door there in Division 7, Region 2, District 2, Friday night. Ithaca is at Saginaw Valley Lutheran. We just talked about them, how they beat USA. 9-0 against Ithaca, who is 6-3. In that other bracket has the Cass City Redhawks, 6-3 overall. And they're at the Elkton Pigeon Bayport Lakers, 7-2 overall. Cass City Redhawks looking for revenge to avenge their earlier loss to the Lakers, despite them being tri-champions in the Big Thumb White Division. This will be your game of the night this week, I believe.
Yeah, this will be my game for this Friday night. Dating back to week number 3 when they played Laker, I think it took a lot of us by surprise that Cass City got knocked down, I should say, by Laker. And I don't think it really surprised us that Laker beat them. I think it was more surprising that, we thought that overall going into that game, a lot of people did. I'm not gonna say everybody did, but a lot of people thought that Cass City was maybe the more complete team going into that game. But Laker, they went into Cass City and they spoiled, one of the few home games that Cass City was able to host this season. Now Cass City can do it right back to them on the road at Laker and end their season. So I think for Cass City, that it means the world to them to be able to do that. I think it would have been really, really cool if we could have got Cass City and Millington for another district title for the potential revenge game for Millington and the potential that Cass City could have got 2 wins. But nonetheless, we get 2 games in the rivalry, a real, true, old-school rivalry in the Thumb with Cass City and Laker. And, I feel like Cass City's hungry right now. A very uncharacteristic-like loss for them in week number 9. I wasn't expecting that against Saginaw MLS.
Yeah, 2 fumbles in that game. That probably led to scores for Saginaw MLS. You take those 2 fumbles, that's 2 scores. It's 30-30 at that point if you score 8 points. 72 yards rushing from Riker Wallace. He fumbled twice there. Jackson Anthony, 47 yards in a rushing TD, but you can't fumble the ball even against a Laker team here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You got to hold on to the ball. And, I think I hope that MLS game really woke them up as they get into postseason play. And, if there's anybody that can wake up a team, it's Coach Scott Cothrell and his staff over there. So I really think that it's going to be a great game as long as everyone's healthy on both sides. I don't know the injury report right now, but as long as everybody is healthy, I think it could shape up to be a very good district semifinal, a very good opening round game, and maybe one of the better ones in the state. So I'm really excited to see what happens. And real quick on the other side, Ithaca and Saginaw Valley Lutheran. This is the 2 teams that played earlier in the season, and Valley Lutheran beat Ithaca by 1. Now, if Ithaca can pull off the upset, and then Cass City, either team, Cass City or Laker wins, they would host Ithaca for a district championship. So if you're, a Laker or Cass City fan, you're really rooting for the Yellow Jackets this week because you're hoping to get one more home game out of it, and that's the way to do it. And, there's obviously a good chance that Ithaca could pull off the spoil and pull off the upset because it was such a close game last time. But, you never know in the postseason, and I would really like to see, obviously, either Laker or Cass City go up against Ithaca and take down the old giant that is the Ithaca Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, and shout out to Preston Dorland. He had to pass in this game, 5 of 10 for passing, 89 yards. Nice to have that weapon in your back pocket. For the Lakers, Luke Good, 63 yards and a touchdown. Grant Buchholz, what's going on with the Buchholz family out there? 60 yards, 2 touchdowns, 23 yards passing, 2 touchdowns as well. Christian Sanchez, 77 yards rushing and a touchdown. Kidding Caravu, a catch for 7 yards and a touchdown. Lucas Wayner, 1 catch, 15 yards and a touchdown for the Lakers with their win over Marlette, 42-12. Here, like you said, Cassidy wants to pull out all the stops against the Lakers. Of course, you want to move on to the playoffs at this point. Lakers, kind of finish on a down note at the end of the season, but man, they took it on some tough teams there. They took their licks at the end of the season. Playoff ready already, I would say.
What team are you talking about, Cassidy?
The Lakers themselves, yeah.
Oh, Lakers, yeah, no, absolutely, Laker. Obviously finishing out the season against Millington and Harbor Beach in back-to-back weeks, and honestly standing tall in both of those games. I mean, they lost to Millington by 11, I believe it was, and maybe 2 touchdowns to Harbor Beach.
14-3 against Millington, and then Harbor Beach, they hung on there, but falling 20-6, and then finished the season where Marlette 42-12. So yeah, strong end to the season.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a really good season for the Lakers, and they get home field advantage, and it's really hard to play up there. It's going to be cold on Friday. I know Cassidy's very used to this weather, obviously, as well, but that wind hits you coming out of the north, and it's a whole nother feeling. But, obviously Lakers is going to have that home field advantage, so I'm excited to see what happens. But they are definitely battle-tested, and they have been battle-tested, more recently, I guess. So we'll see what they've learned from those games, and learn and see if they can use that win at the end of the season to kind of catapult them in and get that big win over their rival.
All right, so since I want to talk about Marlette, this was their last game in 11-player football as they move into 8-player football next season. Your take on that?
Yeah, I've been listening to you guys the past couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago, you guys brought it up, and that was kind of breaking news at the time, and new news. And then last week, on my way down to the North Branch game, I listened to you guys talk about it, and it's definitely it's bittersweet, I guess. As a Sandusky grad and a person that saw Sandusky play many, many good games against Marlette, it does stink. We've been through this before, though, as Sandusky people. When Deckerville made the move, we lost that rivalry, which, again, stunk. So hopefully they can pick up another good rivalry. But unfortunately, with all the teams around them, shrinking and Sandusky staying 11-player, it's kind of hard to continue those rivalries with, neighboring towns. So, it stinks on that side of things. Personally, it's a bummer, but at the same time, I know it's good for the program. I know it's good for, the future of football in Marlette. I know Coach Denny Lester is going to do a heck of a job in 8-player football. Their JV squad has prepared them for that. I have no doubts in my mind that they are going to be a pretty good squad here in the next couple of years. They have some talent coming up from what I understand, and they're going to be in that 8-player. And as much as I'm sad to lose the Sandusky-Marlette rivalry, I'm excited to see again the Marlette-Brown City rivalry, and even more so from my side of things, the Marlette-Kingston rivalry, because they're right around the corner from each other. And Eric Hartzell was on the staff for a little while with Coach Denny Lester, and Denny's got a lot of friends and relatives in Kingston, so it's really a personal type of battle, I guess, and I'm really excited to see those rivalries and obviously the Brown City rivalry get renewed. It's a bummer, but I think for the betterment of the program, the betterment of Marlette schools and, the football program, I think it was the right decision, and I applaud him on it.
All right, you opened the door to 8-player football, so I'll talk about one of your other teams in your area, the Kingston Cardinals, topping Marion 58-38. Another game, back-to-back games here for Kingston alone to finish with some high-scoring games in the last couple of weeks. With Marion 52-32, the week before 78-38 against Dryden. Kingston's Cardinals offense is really, I guess you could say they woke up really well. They did try to come back against Deckerville in their loss, 22-14. I think they sent the chocolates and flowers to K-Pac a couple weeks ago, too, thanking the K-Pac Chiefs. as they Kingston Cardinals came in through the back door and now are co-champions of the Big Thumb Blue Division League title despite their loss to Deckerville. K-Pack doing a huge favor to them. But K-Pack, we knew they had the offense there. They had the horses out there. Yeah. They pull out all the stops against Deckerville, the game that I did a couple of weeks ago as well. And I wasn't surprised about that win. But Kingston Cardinals, after that loss to Deckerville, this is like the Kingston in the past 3-4 years with with these guys where they get beat earlier in the season and then, man, that fires them up into the playoffs and they pull off some big wins.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The Deckerville game obviously stung. They got a little bit, cheerier when they saw K-Pack pull off the upset, and they got a share of the title. But they got they had to get the win over Dryden. That was a game that I believe they were tied 16-16 at one point, and then they just kind of went on a roll, and they did work. And Marion's a good team too. They're 6-3. They're going to be going into the postseason, so they're no slouch either. That was a good win to get at home, finish the season 8-1, first season under Coach Hartzell, and I know he's ecstatic about getting into the postseason. But really, I mean, it's been a great run so far this year for the Kingston Cardinals, and I'm looking forward to see what they can do the next couple of weeks. Now, you have to stop, though, and look that they have to play Bay City All Saints, and this is an All Saints squad that only lost to Deckerville by 1 point on a late touchdown for the Eagles. So, they're not to be taken lightly by any means. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, and you got to also look at it. Bay City All Saints is coming off a forfeit, too, in week number 9. Now, forfeit can be good and bad because you rest up, but you also maybe get out of that rhythm a little bit of playing the game of football, and maybe it throws you off a little bit. I've talked to some football players, and they said, you get off a week, and you're so used to just practicing and, doing play, just kind of walkthroughs and whatnot, that once you have to get back to competition, it kind of throws you off a little bit, and, you start off kind of sluggish, but so that's going to be another thing, because if Kingston can jump on them early and score some points, the Kingston defense has been playing phenomenal this year. Shout out to Coach Kenny Pierce, actually he was a Kingston grad. He married a Deckerville grad. I apologize.
I know somebody who did that. So.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's you.
We all make mistakes, but I'm just kidding. All Saints is the real deal. They're going to be tough. They have a lot of good players on that team. Jack Wetter's at quarterback. The kid's a phenomenal player. So I think that they're going to be a tough out. I think it's going to be a good battle. It's going to be in Kingston, which helps them out. But yeah, you gotta watch out. And then on the other side, you got a Brown City team that's looking for some revenge, and you got a K-Pack team that's really found new life in the past couple of weeks. After that Kingston and Brown City loss, they knock off Deckerville. Now, I know Deckerville was without Ian Flanagan, who was just an absolute game changer, but I know Coach Bill Brown would be the first to tell you there, no excuses. And, they went in there and got the win on the road. And, K-Pack could be a team to watch out for as well. So, Kingston looking like the top dog in that region, but at the same time, you can't overlook any of those three teams, All Saints, Brown City, or K-Pack. Yeah,
K-Pack getting that win against Deckerville and Peck last week in Week 9 really earned those playoff points to sneak into the playoffs, and they were just about 0.3 of a point, I believe, or something like that, 0.03 of a point away from hosting a playoff game. So, they're on the road at Brown City, but it's a Friday night game, and K-Pack, really trying to prove something, and so far so good. They have proven that they can beat any team anytime now. They're a team late in the season that got better and better despite those losses against Brown City and Kingston substantially. I think Kingston really whooped on them earlier in the season, but K-Pac's really come together. And it's funny how these teams, and they play football, some of these teams that had at least 5 wins or 4 wins mid-season, you can see them progress and get better and figure the game out and how the style of play is going to be. Kingston, man, they got a lot of horses out there. They got 3 running backs. You count the quarterback, that's your 4th quarterback, a quarterback who can pass, who plays great on defense as well. He seems to be pretty healthy. Last season a little shaky, but this season they seem pretty healthy, and that's the key thing here for these 8-player teams to try to stay healthy at this point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, I think that's a huge part of it, and I think Kingston right now, as far as I know, are very healthy. Knock on wood, obviously, but they made it this season. Obviously, some physical games with Brown City. Deckerville was a very physical game, so it's obviously good when you can get into the postseason and have everybody, really all your starters, still starting at their proper positions. And we talked about the running backs and obviously the weapons they have, and Tanner James can also run and throw the ball from the backfield. Peyton Harrington, he's been on an absolute tear this year, kind of one of those quiet leaders. And I think if they would have, and if Coach Hartzell's listening, I'm not trying to tell him how to coach the game by any means, but I feel like if they would have went to him earlier and threw the ball, I think it would have been a little bit maybe different outcome with the Kingston-Deckerville game. I feel like Peyton could be a game changer. I think he's got like 25 receptions this year, and I think all but 9 or 10 are for touchdowns. The kid's a freak. He's just playing out of his mind lately, and he's going to be a X factor, I do believe, to watch out for. Tanner James, like I said, he's his big brother Hunter James was a phenomenal player for Kingston, and he's kind of leaving his own path now and trying to do the same type of things that his brother did and leave the same type of legacy that Hunter left at Kingston. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what the playoff version of Kingston football looks like, and I'm excited to see the outcome of this game and see how far this Kingston squad can run.
Yeah, and just clue in Division I. By the way, Decker was in Division II. Some other teams, familiar team names. Central Lake is in Division I. They're 6-3. They're taking on Merrill. Pickford is back, 7-1. They're at Indian River Inland Lakes, who is 9-0. Norway is a team that's undefeated. Martin is 9-0. Remember, that's the team that Brown City lost to in the state semifinals of Brown City's first year of high school player football as well. So, so familiar teams are returning to this season, some on a mission as well. But, it kind of always feels like the way to the state championship, Division I or II, is to go through a thumb area team, and appears to be true here so far. So, yeah.
There's definitely a good possibility of that once again this season, that's for sure.
All right, Scotty, thank you for spending time with me here on Thumb Sportsline.
Absolutely.
Glad to have you back. Have a great game. It's Cass City at the Elkton Pigeon Bay Port Lakers. Your pregame starts at what time?
6:30.
And that'll be on 92.1 WIDL and streaming online as well. Scott Bolsby, thank you, buddy.
Correct. All right, Eddie, take care, man.
All right, and we want to thank him for calling in on Thumb Sportsline. And we'll return after a quick break to wrap up our 6 o'clock hour. We'll call some other Thumb Sports Writers Association members, talk about some other teams here on Thumb Sportsline on WMIC.
Thank you for calling Global Mobile. Please hold.
No, wait, I just need to.
Thank you for calling Global Mobile. Your call is important to us. Please hold forever.
No, not again. I can't handle this. I feel like my head is going to explode.
Big mobile carrier headaches got you down? At Thumb Cellular, we say not in our neck of the woods. We're all about keeping things simple and stress-free. At Thumb Cellular, you'll get friendly, local customer care. No robots, no endless menus, just real local people who care. With hassle-free plans that are easy to understand, plus phones and service for every budget, you'll never feel left out. And with amazing coverage and crystal clear call quality, you'll stay connected wherever life takes you. And right now at Thumb Cellular, double your trade-in value when you purchase a new device, or score a free smartphone with a new line activation or upgrade. Get the details by visiting your local Thumb Cellular location in Bad Axe, Caro, Pigeon, or Sandusky. But hurry, these deals are only good until December 31st, 2025. Terms and conditions apply. Thumb Cellular, the local talk of the thumb.
Can't wait to communicate with you on the talk of the Thumb Cellular.
The King of Cars. This is Denny King, the King of Cars. Do you know why your friends and neighbors have been driving to Caro for over 60 years? It's because we consistently provide the best buying experience in the Thumb for all of our customers. When you come see me, Denny King, the King of Cars, you get to put my 3 decades of experience to work for you. You get the best price on a new Ford, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, or Ram when you shop More Motors in Caro. At More Motors, we take pride in transparency, honesty, and fairness with all of our customers. customers. When you shop More Motors in Carroll, we check every incentive available to ensure you are always getting the best deal possible. At More Motors in Carroll, we understand not all dealers are the same. City dealers will even often say anything just to get people in the door. At More Motors, we don't do that. So when you're in the market for a new Ford, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, or Ram, shop More Motors in Carroll. Then you too will see why your friends and neighbors have been driving to Carroll for more than 60 years.
Hi, this is Steve Kohler from Kohler's Propane. It's that special time of year. The footballs are flying, there are fall festivals, and trips to the cider mills, and many school activities. We would like to thank the many volunteers who work hard to make these special times fun and safe. Whether it's working for a safe harvest, driving safely, and watching for the youngsters on our streets and sidewalks, please do your part to prevent an accident.
And this is Joni. Along with fall comes a reminder that cold weather is on the way. Now is the time to call Kohler's for that fall fill-up. We guarantee your price for one full year, offer free tank installation with keep full and budget plans available. For information, call us toll-free 800-572-2191 or visit our website, getkohlers.com.
For more information, call 1-800-572-2191. Kohler Propane in Brown City, Memphis, and Bad Axe. And remember,
nobody gives you gas like Kohler's.
All right, just confirmed we'll have Paul Adams in the 7 o'clock hour. Some more Week 9 recaps and also touching on sports notes when it comes to the playoffs as well. We'll have Paul Adams from the Huron County View and from the Thumb Sports Writers Association in the 7 o'clock hour, so that'll be coming up here on Thumb Sportsline. Tune in for that. And again, our games of the week on Sanilac Broadcasting. 8-player football. Our Brown City Green Devils on Friday night hosting the K-Pac Chiefs. 6:30 p.m. Friday evening on 92.5 WBGB. And on Saturday afternoon, 12:30 noon, Division II high school 8-player football, Morris Orioles at the Deckerville Eagles. 12:30 noon this Saturday on 92.5 WBGB for high school 8-player football with the Michigan High School Athletic Association. We'll be back after a 7 o'clock hour. Paul Adams.
Keep your radio locked on the Thumb's information station, 660 WMIC AM Sandusky and 95.3 FM W237EQ Sandusky.
And welcome back to Thumb Sports Line and WMIC 95.3 FM. 7 o'clock hour. Show will go up to 8 o'clock. Cross my fingers. We can get the recaps and playoff talk in. First round of playoffs come Friday nights. Looking forward to that. And Scott Bolsby, I want to thank him from the last hour for filling that hour in. Mike Gallagher out on sports assignments. Likely trying to get a picture of a league presentation trophy. With me from the Huron County View, our leader of the Thumb Sports Writers Association. He's been crowned again, and much to his chagrin, yeah, he has to lead us. And Paul Adams is back here with us, the original thumb tailgater himself, back on the air with us. Paul, it's been a hot minute, man.
It's been a minute. It's it's a full-time job leading the members of the TSA. I can tell you that much.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
So I just talked about volleyball. I know I didn't put that in the notes, but hey, you got some pretty strong volleyball teams in your coverage area there. The Ubly Bearcats. My Libby, the intern, was very nervous about that team. I said, hey, don't worry. You still got to focus on districts first before you get to the regionals, as well as Ubly. Congrats to the Ubly Bearcat girls, man. They're really taking on some challenges out there. I think they got a scrimmage against Cass City. They're taking on some more competition, but they've really loaded up their schedule there, and, man, they look really good on the volleyball court. Some high hopes for this strong team.
Yeah, Eddie, this week in our paper, with all the football and stuff going on around us, we're leading with volleyball this week. Owen Gage won their 30th league title in school history. That's awesome for a school with about less than 50, almost 40 students. So the little scrappy Bulldogs pull out another league title. But as you said, Ubly with the league title hasn't dropped a set in league play. And, kudos to Coach Rachel Sorensen. She has gone out. They have played every bit of competition that they can find, because they've won back-to-back regionals at Ubly, but the quarterfinals tripped them up. And this year, everything that they've been doing, it's going to culminate in that quarterfinal match. I just don't see how Ubly doesn't get back to that quarterfinal. And, they really need to knock that door down and get to the Final Four. And I really, truly believe this is the year. I saw them last night against Harbor Beach. That team is in postseason form now. They absolutely dominated Harbor Beach. They look great. This is probably one of the most well-rounded teams I've had a chance to cover in my area in quite some time. There's absolutely zero weaknesses on this team.
Yeah, if they get through this district, this is a team or a regional that they're going to be hosting that folks, for sports junkies, you want to come out and see this regional if Ubly makes it through the district. You never know what could happen, one game at a time. But,
Eddie, unless Ubly gets lost on the way to Owendale, the district title is probably going to be theirs unless there's some sickness or something that runs through the team. I don't see any way that they don't get to the regional. And quite honestly, I don't see any way they don't win the regional. On their home floor, that's where they want to be. They know what it takes to win a regional. They're back-to-back regional champions. So, not trying to overlook anybody else locally, but this is a really, really, really special team. And the thing is, this is the beginning of a 2-year window, a state championship window for this team. They have 3 seniors on this team, and the rest of this roster is all sophomores and 1 junior. So they have a really good opportunity to really leave a 2-year legacy at Ubly.
So I know you got your pulse on the volleyball coverage. Cass City Red Hawk girls, congratulations to them. League title and girls volleyball as well in the white division. So a shout out to them.
Yeah, Cass City, it was really interesting. Amy Cottrell retired. Reagan Jumbarski, now Reagan Hose. Congratulations to her. She just got married. So Reagan comes in, really experienced with the Huron County Mavericks club team. So got her first opportunity to coach at the varsity level, and I think she's done a tremendous job for Cass City. This was quite a rebuilding year for them. They lost a great senior class led by Shelby Ignash, who is, by the way, playing at Texas Tech University. So, she's gone on to a really big Division I program over there. So this has been a bit of a rebuilding year for Cass City, but I think she's done a nice job on the fly. Really young roster. So to win that league title, I think that's really a nice accomplishment. And they go into the district over there at Lakers. They'll be the top seed. They'll be the favorite to win it. But I think that competition's a little bit tighter this year. I would not be surprised to see Lakers or Bad X, really challenge Cass City. I was over at Cass City just a few weeks ago, and Bad X took Cass City to the limit, took them 5 sets. So Bad X absolutely has the opportunity to snatch that victory away, and so does Lakers. Lakers is a vastly improved team. This is they've really, really gone to work on Angie Lackey has built this program finally, and they're very competitive, and they're going to be on their home floor. So, Lakers really looking to play spoiler. I couldn't even tell you the last time they won a district. So it's been a real long time since Lakers or Bad X has won a district, and I think both of them have an opportunity. And USA is a wild card in that district as well. So that's going to be a really fun district over there.
So if you, when you go to North Branch and you don't need any baits on that hook, all you got to do is throw your line there into volleyball heaven there, and Jim Fish is going to get you with no bait, a league title or a district championship. And he did it again here once again. I don't know. That's probably one of the all-time greatest volleyball coaches, Jim Fish. I know he's very modest. about this, but I mean, it's just amazing what he has accomplished there at North Branch High School. And you think every 5 years, you think he's going to get tired of this, right? No, he just gets recharged again, and he wins a league title with the North Branch Bronco girls, and here he is again. I mean, the guy, he just gets it. He gets his game, and it's just amazing what he has done for the game of volleyball itself. But I think maybe pushing other teams to realize how you get to a level where you're at, like the Ubleys where they're at. You got to go out. You got to play these tough teams, win or lose, to prepare yourselves. And he's been able to do this year in, year out for I don't know how many years now.
A lot of years, and there's a reason, Eddie, that he is the first coach that's going to be elected into inducted into the Thumb Sports Writers Hall of Fame. He's the first coach that's going in because he's the GOAT. There's no question about it. But just like you said, Eddie, they go out, they go play high caliber tournaments all over the state, even out of the state, and that's the only way you're going to get better. And sometimes you're going to lose those tournaments. That's fine. But what do you take out of that? How do you get better from that? Because your ultimate goal in the state of Michigan as a high school team, get to that Final Four, give yourselves an opportunity to play for a state championship. So when you're playing high caliber competition, even if you lose, you take that, you learn from it, you build on it. That's what North Branch has done for probably the last 20-some years that Coach Fish has been there. And I think, going back to Ubley, that's what Rachel Sorensen is doing this year with the Bearcats. This is by far, I have never seen in Huron County, and I've seen USA have great runs in Huron County in volleyball, but I've never seen a team take on the level of competition that the Ubley Bearcats have taken on this year. And I think that is going to help them so much as they go deeper into the postseason.
Yeah, I had the pleasure, near a decade now. It's hard to believe it's been that long. When I got right after a semifinal game in Battle Creek against with Algonac in a state semifinal, I was able to catch that North Branch Bronco girls state championship game. We made it right over the Battle Creek just in time, and I could see his mastery at work. I was like, man, this guy coaches. I mean, the way he subs, the way he moves his players around to set them up for success, it's just mastery. And I think I was just in all of it. So, yeah, very awesome.
And I just want to add, Eddie, 2 years ago, I was shooting for Quad N, and I had the real opportunity and pleasure to shoot North Branch in the state quarterfinals and in the I believe the state semifinals and state championship, if I'm not mistaken. But for sure, the finals, the quarterfinals and the semifinals. And, it was volleyball that I've never been exposed to before. I've never had a chance to see that kind of caliber. And the first match that I shot was a quarterfinal where North Branch was pushed to 5 sets. So basically, at that point, I had seen the state championship played before my eyes. It was a great opportunity to see North Branch and to see them thrive. It was a great opportunity that Jason Parmenter allowed me to shoot that and experience that, because it's something I will never forget, because I don't always get the chance to get out there and see North Branch because I'm concentrated on my own teams, but timing led to giving me the opportunity to see that, and I was so thankful for it, because until you see it and you see it through the eyes and you see it through the camera, man, you truly appreciate it.
And I want to reiterate, congratulations to the Deckerville Lady Eagles, a league title that's getting presented to them today, this evening at Mayville. Winning the league title. They didn't have that last season, but they get a district championship out of it, so congratulations to what they're building there as well. So, yeah, great volleyball all around, and we're going to see all these teams end up playing against each other down the road.
Yeah. Coach Jessie, she's done a great job over there at Deckerville too. She's really built something, and they've racked up a number of several districts in league titles, and probably, I don't know if they're going to be on opposite sides of the bracket in that regional, but I would anticipate possibly an Ubley Deckerville rematch from last year's regional championship.
All right, so from that note, we dive into high school A-player football. You got to cover this game last week, I believe. Did you go cover the North Huron Bad Axe high school A-player football game?
Oh, absolutely, Eddie. I mean, this was a historic first meeting. These are the only towns I've ever called home. I've lived half my life in Kindy and lived the other half of my life in Bad Axe. So, when Bad Axe and North Huron have a chance to meet on the gridiron, and there's no guarantee this game ever happens again. We don't know what the schedule is going to look like next year. So this was a game you just can't miss. Even if these weren't my two hometowns, being in Huron County, this was a game that you needed to be at, and it lived up to all the hype. This was so much fun. Bad Axe jumps out to a 12-0 lead. You're thinking, oh boy, North Huron's in over their head. And then Dominic Stonecipher from North Huron, and remember that name because this kid may win an All-Thumb Player of the Year someday. He's only a freshman right now. He enters the game in the second quarter. He takes a punt return to the house for a touchdown. North Huron recovers the onside kick. He takes the very next play, 50-some yards, to the house. It's 12-12 in the blink of an eye in the span of 2 plays. And in real time, about a minute 30, maybe 2 minutes, that game went from a 2-touchdown lead to tied. And then from there, it was just back and forth battle. And Bad Axe's defense, in the end, was just a little too much, but it was everything you could hope for. Well played. Both teams really respectful of each other. Two of the best guys of coaches that you'll ever see with Nick Gibbert from Bad Axe and Chad Knobloch from North Huron. So it was just a joy to cover this game. One of the more memorable games that I've seen, and just for personal reasons, it's going to be just an unforgettable game for me because, like I said, we may not see this again. So I really, really, truly enjoyed covering this game.
So with this loss for North Huron to Bad Axe, do you think that cost them a playoff spot?
No, it did not.
Okay.
I ran into Chad Knobloch yesterday at volleyball, and we chatted for a little bit. And he said even if they would have won, they would have been out. So that does ease the loss a little bit. But they certainly wanted that game, and they played their hearts out. And, I mean, they gave Bad Axe all Bad Axe could handle. It was just they just came up a little short. But no, even with the win, they would have missed the playoffs even at 7-2. That's a discussion for another day. I don't like seeing 7-2 teams, 6-3 teams left out of the playoffs. I think the MHSAA needs to really look at expanding the playoffs. I know that we have 2 divisions, but only 16 teams, so only 32 teams out of a pool that's growing every year. It's just there's not enough room in the playoffs, and there needs to be more room. There needs to be more opportunities for these smaller teams. North Huron's a school of less than 100 kids. That's what the 8-player game was made for and brought to the state for. It wasn't brought here, no disrespect, but somebody's about to get disrespected. It wasn't brought to the state of Michigan for Marlette with the enrollment over 200 to be going to an 8-player game, because a school like North Huron, that's an uphill climb, man. When you're under 100 enrollment, that you should be playing 8-player football. When you're at 200, I think that you should still be given the 11-player game a shot, and that goes for the hometown Hatchets here too, who are playing 8-player again next year. I think they need to get back up to playing the 11-player game too, and start giving more opportunities to the North Hurons and CPSs and PECs of the world.
A good point there. That is a good point. Carter McMinn in that game had 18 carries for Bad Axe, 181 yards and 3 touchdowns. A.J. Fritz, who has been a catalyst here for the Bad Axe Hatchets, 10 carries, 129 yards and 1 touchdown in the win over North Huron. The finish overall, not so great, but you didn't know what to expect, from this team. But hats off to them. It was good to have Bad Axe at least on the football field in that aspect.
I got to see 2 games this year at Claude Marsh Field, and that's 2 more than I got to see last year. So, I'm glad that Bad Axe is back playing the 8-player game. Hopefully next year, they get things going, get the program going in the right direction to where they can get back to playing 11-player football. But right now, they're doing what they need to do, and it was a lot better than what they did, what they had last year, which was a JV 8-player schedule, barnstorming all over the state, and never got to have Friday night lights under lights at Claude Marsh Field. So it was really a lot of fun. I know Coach Nick Gibbert, he was really thankful of the opportunity that they were given. He really shared a tearful goodbye with his seniors, because he started when this group of seniors were sophomores, and quite frankly, Eddie, they went through hell last year to earn a chance to have 9 games that actually counted towards the standings this year. So, it was a special season for the Hatchets for sure.
All right, so we'll stay in the 8-player football mode here. Deckerville Eagles get the win over Lincoln Alcona. This is a different Lincoln Alcona team that Deckerville played compared to last year, with a little bit tougher team. This season, a little bit of a down season. Deckerville went on the road and got a bounce-back win after a loss to K-Pac. 41-8 was the final score. Parker Perez, 127 yards rushing and a touchdown. He did have a fumble in this game. Mark Donker, 73 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, and 5 extra points, PATs, with the kicks. Brandon Salowitz had a terrible game, 5 yards rushing and 1 touchdown. This is because they were using him on defense, so I'll give him that.
Right.
Cooper Brown, I tease him about that. So that's a terrible game, 5 yards and a touchdown. Cooper Brown came in as quarterback. They're testing out some quarterback situations. They lost their starting quarterback, Ian Flanagan. Cooper Brown coming in just about 26 yards and a touchdown as well, 18 yards rushing. Logan Shanks, 26 yards and a touchdown for the Deckerville Eagles. Nice bounce back win, but again, a couple weeks ago, hats out to K-Pac Chiefs who threw it all on the line against this Deckerville team. Even on a slightly down Deckerville team, losing some players here, you just can't look past this team. Now, Deckerville, 1 loss. That was the K-Pac a couple weeks ago that we covered here. They're in Division II this year, defending state champions. Yeah, they're missing some pieces of the puzzle here, but I think, as long as Coach Bill Brown has coached here, sometimes we doubt what they can do. You can never count out this team here that just has a lot of experience, a lot of state semifinal appearances, plenty of state final appearances as well, winning 2 state titles, including last year's.
Hey,
go ahead.
I was going to say real quick on K-Pac, though, this isn't the K-Pac that was a doormat of the league for a while. After starting 1-2, they rattled off 6 straight wins, Eddie. They're in the playoffs for the first time since 2011. So, you got to give a lot of credit to K-Pac in that win. And, yeah, they kind of caught Deckerville a little shorthanded, dealing with that injury. But, a lot of credit to K-Pac for pulling off that win. And, hey, they proved they're no joke. They're not going to be an easy out for Brown City in this first week of the playoffs. I know Brown City got them 61-22 earlier in the season, but this, to me, seems like a K-Pac team that's really figured things out, and things are coming together for them. So I think that Brown City K-Pac game in the playoffs, that's a real sneaky game right there.
Yeah, I will even note that I'll make him nameless. One of the assistant coaches from Deckerville had said, this is a different K-Pac team according to the tape that we saw earlier in the season with their losses to Kingston. So, yeah, they got some size, and they're going to bring it here. I mean, this is a pretty different team here. I want to thank K-Pac and Coach Bill Nestle for continuously sending us stat reports and all this. I'm looking forward to cover this game Friday evening against the Brown City Green Devils. So back to...
that's for Deckerville. They got their hands full.
Yeah.
This is your reigning Division II 8-player runner-up. They lost that game last year to Crystal Falls Forest Park, and they've got 1 loss this year, which was 14-7 to Portland St. Patrick, who, by the way, is undefeated. So this is a tall order. But our teams are familiar with Morris too. It wasn't just it was just a few years ago that Morris was a member of the NCTL back in 2021. So they're nothing new to the likes of Deckerville and teams like that. But it's certainly going to be a tall order. It's a really good defense, offense that's putting up around probably about 45 points a game, just crunching the raw numbers in my head. So Deckerville certainly got their work cut out for them in this game. Yeah,
there's some familiar names that you and I are familiar with. You mentioned Portland St. Patrick. Mendon is in this Division II on the other side of the regional bracket there. Powers North Central you had mentioned as well. Felch North Dickinson is 9-0 this season. They're in the very top region. Onekama, a team that Bay City All Saints played and lost to, they are 9-0 overall. Yeah, I mean, a lot of strong teams. Mayo, another team, 8-1. This is a strong Division II this season. Grand Rapids Sacred Heart, 8-1 overall as well. So it's going to be a tough road here for the Deckerville Eagles in Division II, because it seems like a lot of these stronger teams seem to fall in this bracket.
Yeah, and Division II is a smaller division, but it might be the better of the two divisions when you look at who's in there. It's a who's who of teams that have competed for or won state championships recently. So, and the nature of these playoffs, Eddie, with only 16 teams in each division, Division I and II, there's no easy games. You're right into the fire with Deckerville and Morris. That is, those are two teams that could. The winner of this game could be playing for a state championship. Who knows? So, and then you got Portland St. Patrick on the other side of this bracket. And if you're lucky enough to survive that, you're probably going to get Mendon or Brenton Deerfield or Grand Rapids Sacred Heart. I mean, it's a meat grinder in Division II and Regions 3 and 4.
So back to KPAC, they got over 644 total yards of offense, most of it rushing, 576 yards. Sam Schneider is the running back / Wildcat quarterback in the backfield when they bring out Brody Test now. Really good game against the Pack Pirates, only allowing 161 yards rushing. They allowed 119 yards passing, but the score, of course, different tale, 58-20. It was 12-12. Peck tied it up in the first quarter, but K-Pack exploded in the second quarter, 22 points and shut out Peck. Got 16 more in the third and then 6 in the fourth. Peck only could muster 8 points in the second half. Paul, you think, we talk about the two-win teams, with North Huron. K-Pack 2-win team, but obviously that Deckerville win catapulted them into the playoff spot.
Oh, no question about it. I mean, Deckerville carried a lot of playoff points, and if K-Pack doesn't beat Deckerville, I don't think they get into the playoffs. So, and not only did they get into the 3 seed in the region, but this region is absolutely stacked. With Brown City and K-Pack on the bottom side and Kingston and All Saints on the top side, I mean, these are all teams that could potentially make a deep run, especially the Cardinals. I think Kingston, just barely lost to Deckerville. They're loaded. I think they're the favorite to come out of this region, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the Cardinals make a trip up to the Superior Dome. I think they've been on the doorstep, and I think they're the favorite going in. But this All Saints team is really good too. So really all the way around, love this region. I love that K-Pack gets an opportunity to see Brown City again. If Brown City thinks it's going to be easy, as it was in week 3 at 61-22, I think they're in for a battle. I think this is a K-Pack team that has found something. Mostly and most importantly, this K-Pack team that has found its confidence. This is a team that just, let's be frank, they've been a doormat for many years. Even in the Big Thumb Conference and NCTL, they haven't been very good. But so it takes a while to gain that confidence and believe in yourself, but you can see it. Certainly, beating Deckerville makes you feel 10 feet tall and bulletproof, and I think that's what K-Pac's feeling right now. So I'm excited to see, anxious to see, I should say, what they're going to bring into Brown City.
Okay, so let's get into 11-player football. A real quick recap here. Clinton defeats Ubley 48-22. Cooper Langenberg for Ubley offense, 90 yards passing and a touchdown, 32 yards rushing. Aaron Weber, 3 catches, 70 yards and a touchdown. Wyatt Shoemaker, or is it Shoemaker? 22 yards. TD.
I say Shoemaker, but depends on who you ask.
Blake Soul, 52 yards rushing and a TD. Ubley ends the season 3-6 overall, and it's been a while since you have not seen Ubley in a playoff. And it happens this season. So, tough road for the Ubley Bearcats. They were in the playoffs last year, but they got shut out 35-0 against Harbor Beach. But it's been some time since they have not been in the playoffs.
2014 was the last time. They had the longest active streak in Huron County going. Millington has the longest active streak in the Thumb going. But, Ubley had a really good streak there, just a few years removed from a state championship. But what people need to keep in mind, especially the Bearcat faithful need to keep in mind, is this is a young team. You mentioned Cooper Langenberg. He's a freshman. They have a bunch of sophomores on this team. So this was, in essence, this is kind of a JV team out there. Jordan Maurer is a sophomore. Who else do we got? Sophomores on this team. Blake Soul. You just mentioned Blake Soul. Yep. He's a sophomore on this team. So you had a freshman quarterback and 2 sophomores in the backfield. That's a pretty good place to start when you're putting your team together next year. A lot of these games too, Eddie, that Ubley lost. Reese, they lost 24-18. Ubley was leading in the last minute of that game. USA, they lost 28-22. They were in it till the very last minute of that game. So those are 2 games that could have went, another way for them. Against Clinton, they were down 24-22 at halftime. They were in that game. So there was things that could have went the other way. Week 1 lost to Lakers 14-0. They were in that game. So a lot of things have, over the last few years, have gone right for the Bearcats. They didn't go quite right for the Bearcats this year. But I think that they're going to come back. They're not missing the playoffs next year. They're going to be better for this. And I think they're going to be one of the better teams in the area. But they took their lumps this year at 3-6. And, it feels strange not having Ubley in the playoffs. But, here we are.
Yeah, so you're making that preseason prediction the year before for Ubley, so that's good.
They're coming right back, Eddie. I don't know if they'll run the table undefeated, but they're in the playoffs next year. They're going to be one of the better teams in Huron County next year.
Now, I recall you saying that about a certain team way back in week 1 before we even did our first game coverage and recaps, but you had predicted that Unionville-Seaboing Patriots would make a playoff spot, and you were right. Yeah, they had some battles in there, but they hung in there. They probably could have had a little bit closer game against Valley Lutheran as well. But credit USA, they get in the playoffs. Great ground game. Brady Green, one of the top running backs, top-notch across the thumb area. I mean, I think any coach would love to have him on his team to add that extra weapon. But congrats to the USA Patriots. It's been a long road for them to get back to this point to make it to the playoffs. It's been a while. I think you guys are guessing about what 2016 was your quiz question out there?
Well, 2016 is the last time they hosted a playoff game.
Yeah.
So they've made the playoffs a couple of times since then, but always been on the road. And, Eddie, I'm old enough to remember back in the early 2000s when this team was a state championship caliber team. And I spent a lot of nights covering playoff football over there in Unionville-Seaboing area. And I'll tell you what, there's very few places in the thumb that put on a better atmosphere even in the regular season, and I can't wait to see what they have in the playoffs. This is the game that I'm going to. Genesee's at USA, and I'm really excited about it. Haven't been to a USA home playoff game in over about a decade, so I think they got a really good chance in this particular game against Genesee. It's a 4-5 Genesee team that the reason they're in at 4-5 is because a lot of these teams they played are Division 6 and 7, and I think there's even one Division 5 team that they have on their roster. So that carries a lot of points, and that helps you get into the playoffs, but it's not going to help them against USA. Last year, USA played Genesee, beat them 62-0. I don't see any reason why this game isn't a similar outcome. The only thing that concerns me about USA is there is a concern that the secondary back or the second back to Brady Green, Noah Howard, may be out in this game, but that would just open an opportunity for Owen Kauffold, who's been a really good running back as well. But Brady Green's a workhorse. He's one of the best backs in the thumb, bar none, and he's not afraid to carry the ball 30 times. When I saw him against Reese back in week 4, I think he had right around 30 carries or something like that. So he's a workhorse. He's a bell cow. When you need 3 yards, Brady Green's your guy. There's very few running backs in the thumb that you could feel like if I need 3 yards, he's the guy. Brady Green's the guy. He's going to have a big game against Genesee. So, yeah, really excited about this game. Great opportunity for USA. And if they win this game, they're likely going to get an opportunity to play Harbor Beach again. And they lost that game 52-6. I don't know if it's going to be 52-6 the second time around, but they certainly want a chance and an opportunity to make up for what is their worst loss of the year.
So that leads us to the Harbor Beach Pirates, a team you've got to cover several times this season as well. This is a Harbor Beach team, undefeated. They've defeated the champions of the Big Thumb White Division as well. 9-0. They had some competition under their belts as well earlier in the season, and they did this not playing the full strength of the roster here. And they're starting to get healthy right at the right time here. Let's talk about these Harbor Beach Pirates, man. Incredible team. Pie in my face to think that Millington might have a chance. I was trying to make our picks contest competitive. I felt bad whooping on Mike and Ben Miller. But, hey, how about these Harbor Beach Pirates? I mean, this is a strong team, and they have some aspirations. I know they want to go game by game, but, wow, what a strong team for this season, but not at full strength, too.
Like you said, they took out the three champions of the White Division, Cass City, Lakers, Millington, Lakers and Millington the last 2 weeks. But the game that really stands out, Eddie, the one that stands out is week 2 against Ottawa Lake Whiteford. Went to Davidson for a neutral site game, 43-14. You know how many games Ottawa Lake Whiteford's lost since? 0. Averaging about 60 points a game in those games since. Ottawa Lake Whiteford's no joke. And Harbor Beach tore them up. That was probably the last time the Harbor Beach has been truly healthy. Like you said, there's been a rash of injuries on this team. Benton Harper probably only played about 3.5, maybe 4 games. Rogan Messing's starting to round into form. Andrew Caban's been banged up. Caden Buchholz, the quarterback, he hasn't played defense, I didn't think, in the last 3 weeks, and he's your starting middle linebacker. So Hall of Fame coach Troy Shelke has really had to do a really good job of piecing this thing together to get to this point. And this team's still undefeated. I think you saw what they're capable of last week. Out of all the scenarios that could have happened last week, I did not see 41-7 coming against Millington. I don't think anybody saw that. I don't know if you ask Coach Shelke in a private moment if he saw that coming, he'd probably tell you no. Millington certainly didn't see it coming. We in the media did not see that kind of convincing win coming. And that shows me that this team, that was a playoff caliber performance. And if they could play like that, even if they are banged up, they're going to be a tough out in Division 8.
All right. This should be a good, they're taking on the Reese Rockets. Reese Rockets, one of those teams that play tough.
It's going to be a fun game.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to sling it. But, Harbor Beach is a team that can sling it too. Pass, run. They do everything well on offensively, especially on special teams. Defensively, they've just been able, lights out. But although that closest game against Lakers, give Lakers credit, they had the defense this year too. That's really kept them in some games. And, that was a great showdown against Harbor Beach despite Lakers' loss to Harbor Beach. That was a close, low-scoring game there.
Reese features one of the most exciting running backs I've seen this year. His name is Deegan Carter, and he is so shifty, Eddie. This kid can stop on a dime, change directions, and go. And, I mean, it's one step. He's at full acceleration again. A really fun back. So it does present a challenge for Harbor Beach to contain him. And then also in the backfield, Trey Johnson is a nice change of pace back for them. I think that this game is going to have a great flow to it. I think it's going to be, Harbor Beach trying to go with the wing T, Reese going with their thing with Johnson and Carter in the backfield. Should have. It's one of those games you're going to look up at the clock and it's going to be about 8:30 and you're going to be in the fourth quarter. It's going to be one of those games that goes really fast and it's going to be really enjoyable. But I just think in the end it's too much Harbor Beach. But Reese, good for them getting into the playoffs. It's been 2 years in a row now that they've been in the playoffs. So hopefully, they're starting to turn things around. Kerry Messing over there, really like what he's doing. A great guy. Kerry Messing is a great dude, and I love what he's doing with the Rockets. And, wish him all the best, but I just don't think that there's quite enough for Reese to win this game. The only way Reese can win this game is if they play keep away, and they're going to have to grind out 8-9 minutes at a time and get some defensive stops. But should be a really fun game.
Yeah, something I forgot to mention and ask Scotty about. The Carroll Tigers, 5-4 overall. got a winning season. This is the Carroll team that won the games they were supposed to win under their new first-year head coach, Ryan Love. And I really like the direction that the Carroll Tigers are taking here under his leadership. So a shout-out to them. I forgot to mention that with Scotty, but it's nice to have some good competitive teams here, a little bit more here in the Big Ten Conference, and it's all due to coaching. Hats off to them. But, hats off to the Carroll Tigers.
That's the first winning season they've had since 2010. So it's been more than a minute since Carroll has had a winning season. And like you said, Ryan Love's come in there. It's been great. It's been a revolving door at the head coaching position for Carroll. And hopefully now they have something established and they can keep this coach there and continue to build this culture. And that's where it starts, Eddie. It's culture. It's building it at the junior high level, to the JV level, to the varsity level. But what you need is stability at the coaching position. Hopefully they have that there, because this is a really nice turnaround story. 5-4 this season. Now the next step is crack into the playoffs. Get into the playoffs. They made it in 2020 when everybody else made it. But the last time they truly made the playoffs and earned their way into the playoffs was 2003. So it's been over 2 decades since they've actually truly been in the playoffs, earned their way in. So hopefully that's the next step for the Tigers. Is they've established something. They've got a lot of good positive momentum going. Now you got to work hard in the off season, dedicate yourselves, and then take that next step. Get back into the playoffs, and then you're really back.
Yeah, 90% of this roster, juniors and sophomores. Everybody's coming back.
That's exciting. If you're a Carroll Tiger fan right now, you've got to be excited and do everything you can to make sure Coach Love stays there, keeps this thing going, keeps building on this thing. And I think should be a lot of excitement, and they should be one of the favorites, I think, going into next year to not only make the playoffs, but contend for that white division crown.
All right, Paul, you got any other sports notes that we should make note of here?
Well, we didn't talk about the Lakers at all.
I think Scotty did, but if you want to go ahead and touch on them.
Well, I'll tell you, it's an interesting team this year, Eddie. They have one of the best defenses in the area, but offensively they have struggled. And they'll be the first to tell you that they've struggled. And the struggles kind of start with the running game. If they can get that running game going in any way, shape, or form, they're a dangerous team. This matchup with Carroll is really interesting because they beat Cass City. They beat Cass City in week 3, 18-13. But they were outgained in yards 2-1. There were some big plays in that game that led the Lakers winning the game. I don't know if they can duplicate that effort. So Lakers need to find a way, gain more yards, control that clock, and keep that wing T that Cass City features. Keep that under control. Cass City, I thought, had a lot of momentum. Hadn't lost a game since losing the Lakers, and then had a bunch of turnovers, lost 30-14 against MLS. But, really interesting game. 2 really good rivals here that have, in their last 10 meetings, have split it 5-5. So, really interesting. It's a winnable district for any of the teams in this district, too.
Yeah, and
Ithaca and Valley Lutheran on the other side.
Yeah, and by the way, it was a Laker defensive play that won that game against Cass City in the regular season. So it was a defensive play, I do believe, for the Lakers.
And all you need to know about this defense is Harbor Beach's season low in points is 20. That came against Lakers. I was at that game, and they defensively they gave Harbor Beach more fits than Harbor Beach has seen this year. So defensively, this team can play. It's can they generate enough points? Even in their losses, their 2 losses, they've allowed a combined 34 points. They've only scored 9 points, but in 2 losses to only allow a combined 34 points tells you that this is a legitimate defense that will keep you in every game. So anybody thinking from Cass City thinking, oh, this is going to be an easy win, we're going to get this win, I'll tell you, it's going to be tough sledding. There's going to be a lot of punting in this game. Turnovers are going to be the key to this. Lakers has turned over the ball too many times.
even in wins that I've seen from them. So they need to limit the turnovers. They need to limit especially the first down flags. They cannot get themselves into, first and 15, first and 20. They need to keep the chains moving and keep on time. So it's going to be a pretty fun game over there. I think Scotty's calling that game, so he'll keep us up to date and give us the rundown of that game. For sure. Paul Adams of the Huron County View. Paul, thank you for calling in our 7 o'clock hour. I appreciate it, man. Awesome. My pleasure. Thanks for having me, Eddie. All right. Well, maybe we'll try to talk to you next week, depending on your schedule, too, on your recap as well. So I should be open. I'd be happy to jump on with you. All right. Thank you, Paul. All right. Have a good one. Yep. Paul Adams of the Huron County View on Thumb Sportsline. Want to thank him for calling as well, and Scott Bolsby for the last hour. As we continue on, I got some more recaps to touch on and some other teams to talk about, especially in the Blue Water Area Conference here on Thumb Sportsline on WMIC 95.3 FM. We'll be right back after the commercial break.
Tackle those tough cutting jobs with steel products from your nearest Tri-County equipment location. Save $50 on the Steel MS 250/18 chainsaw. Buy the Steel MS 172 CE model for only $249. It comes with Steel Easy to Start and Quick Stop, diagnostic socket, and many other features. Tri-County equipment cuts the cost of cutting with the MSA 70 CB12 chainsaw, sale tagged at $399. And it comes with a free battery valued at $179.99. You can also save big on steel blowers. The BRX 800X Magnum is reduced $50 to $599. Many other specials too. Hurry, these deals good for a limited time only at your steel dealer. Tri-County Equipment in Sandusky, Marlette, Bad Axe, Carroll, Lapeer, Fenton, Burton, Reese, Birch Run, Saginaw, and Auburn Hills.
Tri-County
Liberty Lanes and Sandusky salutes the area athletes for their accomplishments and academic achievements. On your way to or from the game, come on into Liberty Lanes for a pizza or one of the many tasty entrees on the menu. Enjoy their Friday fish specials and come back for the Sunday brunch. Liberty Lanes also has banquet facilities available. For information or to place an order to go, call 810-648-9860. That's 810-648-9860. Liberty Lanes, your family dining and bowling center in West Park, Sandusky, serving you for more than 40 years. You can find Liberty Lanes on Facebook.
Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
From Graf Chevrolet of Sandusky, here's Body Shop Associate Tina Kirk.
If you stumble onto an unfortunate fender bender or deer encounter, the Graf Body Shop is the place to get your work done. We work with most makes and models and have access to all parts necessary to get the job done. We work well with all insurance companies to get the claim handled quickly. Let our certified, experienced technicians that care about your vehicle help get your vehicle looking like nothing ever happened. Rental vehicles can be scheduled upon request and availability. To arrange an estimate, call the Graf Body Shop at 810-648-9850, or you can reach me directly at 810-269-6743. Stop by Graf on M46 in Sandusky for all of your automotive needs.
Graf family, we're making friends.
Back here on Thumb Sportsline on WMIC 95.3 FM and streaming online at SaniLacBroadcasting.com. Quick other recaps. Week 9 games. The K-Pac Chiefs end the season with the win over the Peck Pirates. 644 total yards of offense. Just 68 passing yards and 576 rushing yards. Sam Schneider, 18 carries, 250 yards, and 5 touchdowns on the ground. Brody Tesnell, 5 for 9 for passing. The quarterback, 68 yards, 1 touchdown. Did have an interception. Well, they poured on against the Peck Pirates. 119 passing yards for Peck, rushing 161. Peck does not make the playoffs despite the record overall, but that's how tight the window is in 8-player football. And I do like the take that Paul had. They need to probably expand this 8-player football field. Hopefully that'll be brought up the next MHSAA meeting on that topic. The Deckerville Eagles, who we will cover, by the way, we'll cover the K-Pac Chiefs at the Brown City Green Devils. And the Brown City Green Devils, offensively against Bridgman, 843 total yards. It was 44-36. It was 8-8 between these two teams. And then 16-14 at the half. Brown City scores 22 points in the third quarter to Bridgman's 8 points. The Bees buzz in with 14 more in the fourth quarter, outscoring Brown City 14-6 in the fourth quarter. Brown City hung in there, winning by a touchdown, 44-36. Bridgman scored the last couple touchdowns. Cooper just 2 for 3 for passing. He played quarterback, just 3 yards. They kept it on the ground and pound. Lawson Cooper, 17 carries, 205 rushing yards, and 3 touchdowns. Mulholland, 11 carries, 122 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Jace Halbert, 6 carries, 95 yards, and a touchdown as well. So, yeah, that 840 yards doesn't sound right at all. Yeah. I'm going to go with what's on tap here. I think that was the total yards from both teams combined. That's what it was for the addition there. 418 yards rushing, I would say, for the Brown City Green Devils. For those 2-3 running backs. Good win. You finish strong, you get in the playoffs, and you host your playoff game against the K-Pac Chiefs. That will be on 92.5 Friday night, 6:30 p.m. for the pregame on 92.5 WBGV. On to the Deckerville Eagles with their recap. They get the win over Lincoln Alcona. 232 rushing yards for the Deckerville Eagles over the Alcona team. 127 yards rushing, as I said earlier in the recap. 1 touchdown. Donker with 2 touchdowns. The PAT kicks for extra points as well. He had 73 yards and 7 carries for the Deckerville Eagles. They take on Morris Orioles, a big tough game here in Division II of high school A-player football. And we'll be doing that game Saturday afternoon, 12:30 noon on 92.5 WBGV. All right, and moving on to Blue Water Area Conference playoff team. The Richmond Blue Devils got the win over Macomb Lutheran, Macomb Lance Cruz North. Yeah, Dominic Monetti, 7-12. But give him credit for the passing as a quarterback. 2 for 7, 60 yards, had a touchdown. Did have an interception. Close win here, but they get it done over Macomb Lance Cruz North. And rushing-wise, leading rusher for the Richmond Blue Devils, Trenton Coleman. He is a sophomore, Coleman. 96 yards, 15 carries, and a touchdown. Logan Evans, 38 yards on 8 carries and a touchdown to get it done in Week 9 and earn some playoff points and get a home game in their playoff. And they are in 11-player football. They are in Division 5, and they take on a rematch against the Armada Tigers, who Richmond beat earlier this season. So looking forward to that matchup in the Blue Water Area Conference. And the first meeting between those two teams, Richmond Blue Devils took care of the business against Armada. It was 24-17. Just a 7-point win. They hung in there, but they got it done. The Richmond Blue Devils. Can they get it done again? I'm going to have to find out. The Yale Bulldogs, they're in the playoffs, 5-4. They're at the Frankenmuth Eagles. Going to be very tough. But there is some bark and bite to the Yale Bulldogs to make just enough playoff points to get into it. The Yale Bulldogs finished the season overall with a win over Flint Powers, 48-21, and that got them in the spot. Croswell-Lexington Pioneers, disappointing season. They did win some pretty good games here. They did beat Yale earlier in this season, 38-17 in that trophy game. They lose to Ogama Heights, 27-7. And They finished the season overall with just 4 wins, 4-5 overall. So I think, you look ahead to the future here, to next season. They're going to get the quarterback back. They're going to get some other key players back as well. The undefeated Almont Raiders, undefeated, and they finished 9-0 with the win. And this was a battle for the Almont Raiders in Blue Water Area Conference. They get the win 53-46. It was Detroit Edison scoring first, leading 8-0. Brody Corneau got a 5-yard TD, ties it up 8-8. Blake Lane, a 5-yard run for Almont Raiders, 14-8. But then Detroit Edison takes the lead with a touchdown, a 20-yard run, making it 16-14. In the second quarter, Blake Lane, a 1-yard run, making it 22-16. Almont takes back the lead, but Detroit Edison ties it up with an 80-yard TD run, tying it up 22-22. Then a fumble return, yes, a mistake by the Almont Raiders. A fumble return. They take back the lead, 30-22, 8-point lead here for Detroit Edison. Sean O'Neill with a 27-yard field goal. Special teams here making it 30-25 with Detroit Edison leading by 5. Then Detroit Edison extending their lead, 38-25. You're saying, uh-oh. That's a touchdown, a 40-yard TD pass for Detroit Edison. That was at the half, 38-25. Almont Raiders come storming out in the third quarter. Brody Corneau with a 67-yard TD run, making it 32-38. They're down by 6. Brody Corneau, a 15-yard TD run, takes the lead, 39-38. 4 straight touchdowns, I believe, for the Almont Raiders here. In the third quarter through the fourth quarter, Brody Corneau with another touchdown. 13-yard TD run, 45-38. They extend their lead, 53-38. Brody Corneau with an 11-yard run. And then Detroit Edison in the fourth quarter getting a little bit closer here with a 1-yard TD pass. Almont able to pull out the win and finish 9-0 overall. 53-46 was the final score. A tough battle, but they came back and won this game with resiliency. You needed this tough game to go into this playoff. 401 total yards for the Almont Raiders, just 35 yards passing, 366 yards rushing. Detroit Edison, man, 330 yards passing and 208 yards rushing. Wow. Brody Corneau, 17 carries, 231 yards for the Almont Raiders. He had 5 touchdowns in this game and a 2-point conversion, 2 of them. Matthew Bohosky, 6 carries, 56 yards. He had a 2-point conversion as well. Those are your leading rushers for the Almont Raiders. 9-0 overall. Great season. BWAC champions. Hats off to that team. The Armada Tigers, looking at their game, they ended the season with a very tough team. Really good team. The Frankenmuth Eagles. Hats off to Armada, getting this on their schedule. They lose 42-14. They were 11-22 passing, 93 yards. Rushing-wise, they had 35 carries, 143 yards, and had 2 touchdowns. Very tough game to schedule here against the Frankenmuth Eagles. It was 7-7 after the first quarter. They hung in there, but Frankenmuth exploded in the second quarter, making it 28-7 at the half. And then Frankenmuth scoring 7 in the third quarter and 7 again in the fourth, shutting out Armada in the second half. Nothing to be down about a 6-3 overall record. You're in the playoffs, and you have a rematch against the Richmond Blue Devils. A chance for you to play spoiler for the Armada Tigers. Those are the playoff teams in the Blue Water Area Conference. You got 4 teams from the Blue Water Area Conference in the playoffs. Almont in the Division 6, Region 4, District 2, hosting Clintondale, who is 5-4 overall. Almont 9-0. The other side of that bracket, familiar team in the playoffs, the Marine City Mariners at 6-3. They'll take on Clawson, who is 6-3 themselves. Those are Friday night games. Yells at Frankenmuth, Armada at Richmond. And that is in the Blue Water Area Conference. Congratulations to those BWAC teams. Had a lot of fun covering in the past when I had the Thumb Together Sports crew covering the Blue Water Area Conference. Looking forward to seeing those teams next season. Yes, we are expanding our coverage here. The plans are bubbling up. It was supposed to happen this year. didn't come to be. Didn't come down to that. But, yeah, we're going to have some double coverage next season. Yes, we're going to have 2 teams out for double coverage of high school football games. Something out of our immediate coverage area, as our signal covers a pretty good, vast area. And since we've been up streaming, we're looking forward to expanding the coverage, especially in the Blue Water Area Conference and 8-player football and more. So looking forward to that next season. Let's focus on this season. Yes, we've got a big game. 2 games in high school 8-player football. Our immediate teams, the Brown City Green Devils, hosting the K-Pac Chiefs, 2 offensive powerhouses. Looking forward to that game with Jeremy Burgess at Brown City High School. That's Friday evening, 6:30 p.m. And then on Saturday afternoon at Deckerville High School, my alma mater, against a very tough team, the Morris Orioles at the Deckerville Eagles, 12:30 noon this Saturday. Tune in on 92.5 for both games on WPGV and streaming online at SanilacBroadcasting.com. And that does it. Thumb Sportsline, 8 o'clock hour. Almost made it to the top of the 8 o'clock hour, but we went in overtime here. That's okay. Thank you for tuning in to Thumb Sportsline. Next week, a recap of the first round of the high school football playoffs and a preview of the high school volleyball pair-ups, too. Yeah, we're going to take a look at that. I want to thank Scott Bolsby from the Tuscola County Advertiser and Paul Adams of the Huron County View for calling in. Mike Gallagher on assignment today. Thank you for tuning in for Thumb Sportsline. And Mike Gallagher will be back next week here for Thumb Sportsline. Thank you to the Thumb Sports Writers Association, Kristen Selleck, our official athletic director of the TSA, Paul Adams of the Huron County View, Scott Bolsby of the Tuscola County Advertiser, and WIDL Let's Talk Sports 92.1. Clark Ramsey of WWW Sports, his recap on the Harbor Beach Millington game and all his recaps. Tune in to their game. They'll have the Harbor Beach Pirates in action against the Reese Rockets. Scotty will have Cass City Lakers. And I want to thank Jason Palmerter, a Quad and Pro. He attends plenty of games out there. A shout out to the Huron Daily Tribune, Tom Green. Ashley Winter Palmer, our Director of Activities and Promotions of the Thumb Sports Writers Association. Chris Wilcox as well. A shout out to him. Mike Gallagher of the Sanilac County News. Pick up those publications. That will be released tomorrow on Wednesday or Thursday as well. The backbone of your sports coverage is our local papers. And to all the other local papers, a shout out to you as well. Also, Jonathan Bisher, who will be helping me out on Saturday afternoon, coming from Wisconsin, coming home, and who will be doing the game with me as well on Saturday afternoon, 12:30 noon for the Deckerville game. To the Sanilac Broadcasting staff, thank you as well. And to you, the listeners, thank you for tuning in to Thumb Sportsline and supporting us. The coaches, the assistant coaches as well, thank you for all your fantastic help. We appreciate it. So, yeah, I think we're going to skip the picks here. I did have Ben Miller, Miller Time Sports, can't forget about him. We did have our picks set up, but without Mike Gallagher, maybe we'll get those in later on the morning show on Friday. So we could possibly do that as well. Thank you for tuning in to Thumb Sportsline on WMIC 95.3 FM. A podcast replay will be posted online later tonight or by tomorrow morning. Thank you for tuning in to Thumb Sportsline.